Welcome to another video where I'm going to teach you how to make your life easier. And the way we're going to do this is by building custom chatbots that help us do things in specific ways. Basically, they're going to really make life a lot simpler. We're going to be able to do work a lot more effectively, and we're going to cut costs in the process. Okay, so let's get started. So what gems are? So Gemini calls them gems, Claude calls them skills, and ChatGPT calls them GPTs. Pretty simple, okay? And what they are is they are custom experts. So you've got the power of Google, Anthropic, and OpenAI. They've got these large LLMs, and they give you the ability to create specific instructions within them for them to work in a certain way. So you can imagine the stuff you could do. They can be content generators, they can be strategy planners, they could be script writers, they can be data analyzers, so on and so forth. There's like a lot of stuff that you can let these things do. The fact that they're multimodal also makes it great because it means you can work with all kinds of content and create like really rich output. I mean, you could even use them as coding assistants or assistants that help you plan the way you're going to come about a coding project. Okay, so like I said, these gems are little experts. You can call them little assistants. So let's say you're a one-man team in an organization. You could literally have gems for every department. So first of all, let's talk about the anatomy of a gem. Okay, so the gem has a title. What is the gem called? It's got a short description of what the gem does, and then it has a instruction set. So basically what it's supposed to do. So I'm going to use the words skills, gems, and GPTs to mean the same thing in this video. Okay, so let's open one gem that I created. So I used Claude to create this. Claude calls them skills. Okay, so as you can see, it has all this information that the GPT or the gem or the skill is supposed to follow. So it gives it very specific instructions on how to go about what you want it to do. So I created that skill in Claude, and Claude has a really cool way of helping you create these skills. So if you go to add, you can see you can create with Claude. So basically Claude is going to ask you what you want the skill to be about. You give it as many details. It will even ask you questions like multiple choice questions, and you'll answer them, and it will create the skill based on that. You could write the skills yourself, which I don't quite recommend unless you know what you want, or you can upload a skill. So as you can see, I've got this opportunity outreach skill. I can simply upload that into Claude and it will add it. So if you note, I have that skill right here and it's enabled. And I'm going to show you just a quick way on how to use these things. So when it comes to ChatGPT, they call them GPTs. And as you can see, they've got a couple of GPTs that you could use right off the bat. But you could also create your own GPTs. And as you can see here, it will ask you questions so that it will help you create the gem. So basically you can prompt into a GPT, not gem, sorry, a GPT. You could also configure your name, the description. Like I said, you can upload knowledge files. So where is it going to get certain information from? So let's say you want to create a GPT that is going to answer frequently asked questions. You can put all the information you have about your business. You can upload it there, then create this for team training. You could send it to your clients so that they can communicate with that GPT and find out about it. Or let's say customer service. If people have like questions and whatnot, you could just program this into your chat so that it uses that information to talk to them. So the possibilities are endless. So Claude even has a PDF that shows you how to create these skills. And you can imagine, you can simply download this and use it as a base to create GPTs or gems as well. Quite amazing. When it comes to Gemini, Gemini has kind of like a streamlined way to create these gems, but by streamlined I don't mean that in a good way. It's very basic. They don't give you like a facility to talk with a chatbot to help you create the skill, whereas with Claude they've got a specific skill within the system that helps you create skills. With Gems, it's pretty like bare bones. You give it your name, the description, you put in the details. So that's why I use Claude to create those skills, and then I post them in here. And then of course you could then add any reference tools, let's say for FAQs, for training and whatnot. I have a couple of them that help me do a lot of things. Social posts that use post best practices. So if you're a social media creator or you're creating content for yourself, you can imagine this will create the content in the best way possible. And I've added my resume and information about me, so it creates it in my style, my tone of voice, using my experience and any other information about me. But there's also stuff like Opportunity Outreach Creator, which I created to sort of help me communicate with different opportunities. So if there's a job opportunity or contract opportunity, or I need to pitch to someone, I can basically give the gem these details and it will help me do those things. I want to focus on Claude today. Basically, they will do more or less the same thing. The only thing that will be different is the output. And at the moment, I don't want to lie to you, I love the way Claude works. Claude is really good for copy. It's really good for text-based stuff, and it's really good at understanding prompts. So I'd use Claude when it comes to that kind of thing, language, strong kind of content. Then Gemini I'd use for example, if I want something cheaper, because it is cheaper, or if I want something more multimodal. So I want pictures, I want infographics, all that stuff, then this one is going to be good. But when it comes to just text and language and tone of voice, I really do prefer Claude. ChatGPT is also good, multimodal. It's also not bad when it comes to copy and text, but I prefer Claude. Claude is going to be the most expensive one. Gemini is going to be the cheapest, and then ChatGPT sits in the middle. So you basically will decide based on your economics. But let's start with the opportunity creator. So in order to access a skill, there's two ways, at least that I know of. You can go into your settings and then click capabilities, and then you find the skill you want and then click try in chat. Now what this will do is create a prompt that will get you started. What you need to be aware of is this over here. You see, it is calling the skill by its name, Opportunity Outreach Copy Skill. So whenever you want to call a skill, let's say you don't do it in the settings, you want to call it by its name. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, but it must be enough so that it can find it to say, oh yeah, we do have a skill like this, and then it will use that. Then what you want to do is then create the prompt. So what I'm going to do is find a opportunity or a job listing, then I'm going to come back and then we're going to use the skill. Okay, so I'm back. Now we're in LinkedIn, and LinkedIn has this job section where you can basically apply for jobs. Now we all know that applying for jobs isn't the easiest thing to do. A lot of the time they require so many things. There's so many steps. They want you to write cover letters and so on and so forth, fill long forms, only for you to be told that, sorry, you didn't make it, or sorry, we regret to inform you, and you know the drill. So let's say you want to apply for this job, okay? And they want you to write a cover letter and a motivational letter telling you about yourself, all right? You are smart, so you've created a skill that knows everything about you, that can articulate itself like you, but better in more concise ways and has information about the job and can research on trends and best practices of what makes a good application, you smart, you created that. So you're going to just take what they want and copy it. And then you're going to go back into Claude and then say, using the opportunity copy skill, please create a cover letter, a motivation, and an email applying for this job. Then give it a bit more specifics, like be humble and yet confident, and if there is anything I fall short in, be honest but assure them that it is something I can do. Okay, and then we're gonna take the copy, Pam, and then we're going to see what it outputs. So the first thing it's going to do is analyze the skill and find out what it needs to do to produce the content. So as you can see, it's reading the opportunity outreach skill. It's working. I don't know if it's because I'm on the free plan, but it's not as fast as, say, Gemini. And then it's basically keeping you posted. I'll have everything I need from the skill file. Let me craft all 3 documents now. And then you just have to wait for it to create. So I'll fast forward and then I'll let you know when it's done. Okay, so it's done. If you look over here, you'll see that it's telling you exactly what it did. So it wrote a cover letter, it wrote a motivational letter using my experience, as well as an email. It will produce that as a doc, which you could download and use. But if you look on this side, you could see it created the cover letter. I think this is a bit extra though, showing you what I've done, where I've worked, so on and so forth. It will then have the motivation letter. And then, as you can see, it noticed that transparency there. And then it has the email that you're going to send to the person. So of course you want to go through it, make sure that it sounds like you. So maybe remove the headings because people don't really do that. Maybe lessen the language. Of course, you're going to see which company you're applying to. Maybe they want deeper, more industry standard language, or maybe they want something simple, but basically it gives you that. So you could see that just makes the application process a lot easier. So you can go into as many jobs as you want, help it tailor make. You just go through it, making sure that it's at least speaking to your tone of voice and adjusting it. And then you have that done for you. So that's one powerful way you could use a skill, okay? You could do the same thing across the board with all the other platforms. If you're in social media, it can help you create content for your social media. It can help you analyze content. It can help you analyze documents. It can help you create prompts. It can help you code. Like I said, these are little assistants that can help you do what you're already doing. So I look at these things changing the workforce in this way. So one day you were a social media creator, you're creating tons and tons of content, going to Canva, creating that stuff from scratch. But now you are an AI operator, you've got the knowledge, you know how to do those things, so you know what looks good, what doesn't, but you have a tool that can speed up the process. These tools are nowhere near as close as they should be in a lot of things. Maybe some industries are a bit more easy to replicate, like coding. I've seen them do quite a lot of cool things, these tools. But when it comes to like design, that still needs a human touch, even though they're getting better. and other things. They need context, they need experience, and they don't really have that. So if you could use your skills and experience and then share it with them, these chatbots, then you could have a powerful workforce. So you could be wanting to empower your workforce so that it's more efficient and cost effective, or you could be a one-man team that's going to create these agents that you won't need to pay to get stuff done for you. As you explore agents, you'll find out, and I'm going to create videos on that, there's some agents that are within browsers or software that can actually do work on your PC. There's browsers that will check out for you, type for you, search for you, all these things. The power is within these tools, and it's up to us to stop sleeping, to wake up. Sure, there's a lot of chatter about them taking jobs and all that stuff. But for those of us who are embracing technology, it's making things more accessible, more cheaper, and overall just creating space for a new set of wealth. I've created applications using these tools, things I couldn't have done before these tools existed. And even though I am very experienced in the subject topics I'm doing, like with coding, I'm actually studying full stack web development so that I fully understand what's going on. But I don't see myself as someone who wants to code all day and type and look at a screen, and that's one of the reasons I didn't start coding earlier. But I'm starting it now because I can see that I've got assistants that can do the heavy work for me. All I need to do is ideate and direct. So I hope this gave you insight better than my previous video about the things that you could do. All you need to do is use your imagination, create a skill, and let it work for you. Whether it's a gem in Gemini, a skill in Claude, or a GPT in ChatGPT, they will do the same things at different capacities, but they'll just make your life easier. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. Please help me grow this channel. It takes so much time to create these videos, and I'll appreciate a like, I'll appreciate a subscribe, I'll appreciate comments, I'll appreciate a share. Anything you can do, I'd really appreciate it. But that's all for me.